Sanjana times to ring the corner bell for 10 minutes. Order, honorable members. Clerk, sergeants are termed to stop ringing the quorum bell. Clerk, read the orders.
Orders of the day. Today, Wednesday, 7th August 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
The leader of the minority party, the leader of the majority party to table the business of the county assembly of the coming week.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly. The business of the coming week.
Chairperson Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services to table the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Gender. Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper. The report of the Committee on Gender, Children, Youth and Sports Social Services on the implementation status of the County Assembly resolutions of the Third Assembly. I lay.
Chairperson, it was a half-year progress report of the Committee on Gender for the period January to June 2024. As he consults Chairperson Committee on Devolution, Public Participation Count and Institution and Special Programs to lay a paper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the committee will be meeting the ECM on Wednesday next week, so we request for 14 days to come up the report. Thank you.
14 days.
Sure, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Chairperson Committee on ICT, Education and Internship to lay a paper.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on table of the Assembly. The half-yearly progress report of Committee of ICT, Education, Internship for the period of January to June 2024.
Chairperson Committee on Gender.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper. The biennial progress report for the period between January and June 2024. I lay.
Chairperson Committee on Trade, Marketing, Industry, Culture and Tourism. On oversight exercise on public markets.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly. The report of the Committee on Trade, Marketing, Industry, Culture and Tourism on the oversight exercise on the public markets across the county. Eileen.
Chairperson Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning. Chairperson Committee on Finance. Vice Chairperson. The Chairperson Committee, Budget and Appropriation Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly. They have yearly progress report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee for the period January to June 2024. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairperson, Powers and Privileges Committee.
Honorable Speaker, I wish you, on behalf of the Chair and under instruction by the Vice Chair, I can lay the table the report on finance and socio-economic planning. If
Go on.
I proceed? Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to table the following report, that the Assembly adopt the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on oversight exercises on revenue collection amounts and practices in various markets across the county, laid on the table of this Assembly on 7th August 2024. I lay.
What is a point of order, Honorable Jonathan Kimongo?
That paper is wrongly laid. I wish the Assad could play.
Chairperson, can you table the paper the right way? Chairperson Committee, Powers and Privileges. Chairperson Committee, Finance and Socio-Economic Planning. Can you consult with the table office? Meanwhile, the Chairperson Committee, Powers and Privileges Committee. Powers, Vice Chairperson, member of that committee. Members, let us be serious with this business. I will come to that paper as members consult. The Chairperson Committee on the Procedure and the Rules Committee, their paper. Chairperson, Vice Chairperson, Procedures and the Rules. What is point of order, Honorable Jonathan Bishop?
Mr. Speaker, when I listened to you, most of the chairs seems to be away, and they seem to be actually gaps. I don't know, Mr. Speaker, you need to take a strong stand on this because we cannot continue like this, Mr. Speaker. So is it not actually that most of the chairs are not there? Can you guide on the issue of how strictness this matter needs to be dealt with?
Do we have members of Powers and the Privileges in the House?
Yes, Speaker, I would like to request we lay the paper next week. Yeah,
Next week on when?
on Monday.
On Monday.
Yes.
Chairperson, Procedures and the Rules Committee.
I'm still wondering, is it in order for this honorable member to stand and say they will lay the paper by next week? And we know categorically that for any business to enter into the order paper, everything is usually ready. What is making it not ready to be laid now? Why are we wasting time? Mr. Speaker, is it in order?
On that point of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think as a committee, I think we did not adopt the
Honorable member, on that point of order, are you in order? Did you listen
Yes,
to the
I'm in
honorable
order,
member?
because when the paper is not ready, Mr. Speaker, that's why I have requested additional time so that we can be able to lay the paper on Monday. It was not ready.
What is it, Honorable Kali?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I can read that there is a bit of confusion in this matter. Because, Mr. Speaker, yesterday we agreed that when the chair is not there and the vice chair is not there, then they need to ensure that we have a member who can stand in that position and also execute the business that is there. But I do understand, if I'm not wrong, the member is here very much confused because nothing has been handed over to him, and that's why you can see Mr. Speaker is not able to understand where to start. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I can squarely blame the chair and the vice chair because they have not delegated that to the member. If they were not able to be actually today on the floor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members allow us, for the interest of time, we give them up to Monday, 2:30, to lay that paper. The Chairperson Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning, to lay a paper.
Honorable Speaker, I have laid the paper already. In fact, I'm preparing for the notice of motion. Thank you.
There was a point of order on the way you laid the paper.
Yes, the document is at the clerk's, with Dr. Clerk's. I took it, Honorable Speaker. Everything is okay. Thank you.
Honorable Kimongo, you had raised on a point of order?
Well, I raised a point of order on the manner in which the narration for laying of the paper had been done, but since the chair did not take note of that and the chair proceeded to lay, we cannot unlay, so we can only proceed.
Chairperson, Procedures and the Rules Committee. All are member of that committee. Members, don't force us to go into details to look at the committee composition. Leader of majority party, leader of the House business. You need to be noting this. Any member of the Procedure and the Rules Committee in the House? As we look into that composition, the chairperson selection committee to their paper.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on the report which we are supposed to lay, Honorable Speaker, it's unfortunate we didn't get the time to adopt that report, and we shall lay it on Monday in the afternoon. Honorable Speaker, before I sit down, on the matters affecting chairs and vice chairs, Honorable Speaker, I think we are in agreement as an assembly that the liaison committee should take charge and for that matter should take charge seriously. And the chair of liaison is just seated behind me, and I think he is noting what's happening to the House, because moving forward, I don't think we can move like this. Thank you.
Chairperson liaison.
Honorable Speaker, I am worried because the chairperson chair doesn't whip members to attend the assembly sittings. So whips have to take, the various whips have to take their role serious, and even at the parties. Because I cannot be walking around to whip members to come and sit in the assembly. So that's not my mandate completely. Thank you.
Chairperson committee on selection, you indicated you lay the paper on when?
On Monday.
On Monday, noted.
But Honorable Speaker, you know, we can't just place blame haphazardly to other sectors of this assembly. Honorable Speaker, the chair should just stand firmly on the issue of chairs. He's the chair of all chairs, including me. And the chair should stand firmly and tell us enough is enough. I think that's the work of the chair, not the whips.
Honorable members, that issue was discussed at liaison, and you need members to be committed on that issue. Chairperson committee on broadcasting and communication committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly today, Wednesday, 7th at 2:30 p.m. The half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Broadcasting and Communication for the period between January and June 2024. Thank you.
Chairperson, Implementation Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly, half-yearly report, progress report on the Implementation Committee for the period January to June 2024.
Chairperson Committee on Delegated Count Legislation.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly today, 7th August 2024 at 2:30 p.m. The half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Delegated Count Legislation for the period January to June 2024.
Chairperson, Count Public Accounts Committee.
And I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly, the half-yearly progress report of the Committee of County Public Accounts for the period January to June 2024.
Chairperson, Committee on Special Interest. Committee on Special Interest. To table the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Special Interest for the period January to June 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion that this Assembly adopts the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on It's laying. Sorry, Mr.
You are laying a paper.
No. I have a notice of motion. Sorry for the confusion.
You can't have a notice of motion if you don't have a paper to lay. Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm growing hot. Excuse me for that. It is overtaking me so, orange is overtaking me so fast. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly, the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Special Interests for the period January to June 2024. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Clerk, read the next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Special Services. To give a notice, motion.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give a notice of the following motion that the Assembly adopts the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services for the period January to June 2024, laid on the table of the Assembly on 7th August 2024. Thank you.
Chairperson, Committee on Devolution, to give a notice after 14 days. Chairperson, Committee on Trade, Marketing, Industry, Culture and Tourism, to give a notice of motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion that this Assembly adopts the This Assembly adopts the report of the Committee on Trade, Marketing, Industry, Culture and Tourism on oversight exercise on the public markets across the county, laid on the table of this Assembly on 7th August 2024.
Go ahead to give also the notice on the half-yearly progress report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion that this Assembly adopts the report. They have yearly progress report on the Committee on Trade, Market, Industry, Culture and Tourism on the period January to June 2024, laid on the table of the Assembly on 7th August 2024.
Chairperson, Committee on ICT, Education and Internship, to give a notice of motion. Chairperson, Committee on ICT, Education and Internship. Chairperson, need to be attentive.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion. This Assembly adopts the half-yearly progress report on the Committee of ICT, Education and Internship for the period of January to June 2024, laid on the table of the Assembly on 7th August 2024. Thank you, Speaker.
Chairperson, Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning, to give a notice of motion. Chairperson, Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning.
You know, Honorable Speaker, members are not used to be called chairs. So when the chairs fails, maybe we are catching up slowly. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give a notice of the following motion that the Assembly adopt the report on Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on oversight exercise on revenue collection amount and practice in various markets across the county laid on the table of this assembly on 7th August 2024. Thank you.
Chairperson Committee, Budget and Appropriation Committee. Chairperson Committee on Budget and Appropriation Committee to give a notice of motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, which is that this Assembly adopts the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Budget and Appropriations Committee for the period January to June 2024, laid on the table of the Assembly on 7th August 2024. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairperson Committee on Powers and Privileges to give a notice next week. The Chairperson Committee Selection Committee to give next week, and the Chairperson Committee Procedures and Rules on next week, Monday. The Chairperson Committee Broadcasting and the Communication Committee to give a notice of motion.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this Assembly adopts the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Broadcasting and Communication for the period January to June 2024, laid on the table of the County Assembly on 7th August 2024. Thank you.
Chairperson Committee Implementation Committee.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to give the notice of the following motion, that this Assembly adopt the half-yearly progress report of the Implementation Committee for the period January to June 2024, laid on the table of the Assembly on 7th August 2024. Thank you.
The Chairperson Committee on Delegated Account Legislation to give a notice of motion.
Thank you, Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion, that is Assembly adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Account Legislation for the period January to June 2024, laid on the table of the Assembly on 7th August 2024.
Chairperson Committee on Public Accounts Committee.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the Assembly adopts the half-year progress report of the County Public Accounts Committee on the period January to June 2024, laid on the table of the Assembly on 7th August 2024.
The Chairperson Committee on Special Interest to give a notice of motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this Assembly adopts the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Special Interest for the period January to June 2024, laid on the table of this Assembly on 7th August 2024. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Next order. Honorable Felix Mateso to give a notice, which is a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to give a notice of the following motion, that aware that the County Assembly is established pursuant to the provision of Article 176 in the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and the Section 7 of the County Government Act 2012 revised on
2020, and Article 185.3 of the Constitution provides that County Assembly, while respecting the principles of the separations of powers, may exercise oversight over the County Executive Committee and any other County Executive organs. Nothing that Standing Order 217.5 gives the honorable members powers to legislate, study and review all the county legislations refer to it. Further aware that Article 186 of the Constitution of Kenya dictates the respective functions of the powers of the national and the county governments. The further schedule of the Constitution on distribution, the functions between the national government and the county governments. The county government's function include county planning and development, including land surveying and mapping, boundaries and fencing. The Constitution further prescribes the national value and principles under Article 10, which set out the foundation for sustainable urban and rural development in Kenya. In addition, the Constitution under Article 43 provides the economy and the social rights for every citizen. Those rights are realized through existence of a correct and unique address data. Nothing that the National Lands Commission is established under Article 67 of the Constitution. It is responsible for monitoring and the oversight of land use planning through the county. Section 3 of the Kenya Information and Communication Act 2010, that is KICA, established the Communication Authority of Kenya. The objective and the purpose of Communication Authority are set out in Section 5 to include licensing, regulations and proposal, information and communication services in accordance to the provision of the KICA, acknowledging that as towns grow, navigations becomes difficult due to roads, networks, and the continuous construction of new buildings. The problem can be solved by properly naming streets and addressing properties. Water and other major towns lack both the systems and clear mechanism to guide street naming and property addressing. It is established that about 90% of the roads in our towns have no names. Quite a number of roads also bear similar names in the different locations, hence creating confusions. Lack of clear guidelines had led the loss of revenue to the county and business. Slow response to emergency situations, difficulties in mail and package delivery, and time wastage to residents and visitors as they struggle to relocate their destination. More than just a simple street identify and operation, street addressing provides as an opportunity to, 1, create a map of the town that can be used by different sub-count units. 2, conduct a systematic survey that collects a significant amount of information about the towns and its population. And 3, set up a database on the built environment, a rich source of town information that is too often available. Information gathered is associated with an address, thus making it easily located. Appreciating that the overarching goal of this naming of the streets to develop frameworks, principles, and strategies for property addressing and the street naming of Makueni County as a vestige in the Vision 2030, the move seeks to contribute towards achievement of the optimum capitalization of the economic and social and cultural rewards associated with the national addressing system. Nothing that this move to identify the streets by name is guided by the following principles. One, public participation. This is a principle to be employed in the identification of the street names. Inclusivity, addressing be implemented countywide. This includes urban and semi-urban, rural, and information settlement. Three, constitutional principle addressing is a constitutional right that facilitates the deliveries of the county services to citizens and stimulates the local economy. Addressing with the implemented as local collaborative effort between the national and the county government. Four, often data, whereas possible, count and addressing will use existing spatial data and addressing on roads, building and parcels. Addressing information should be accessible as permitted by data protections laws and the privacy concerns. 5, public good. The move promotes counter addressing as a public good that will serve the interest of all Kenyans. Regretting that some of the demerits of failing to address street by name in town includes: 1, navigation issue. Lack of street naming makes it difficult for residents, visitors, and emergency services to navigate efficiently, leading to confusion and delays. 2, inefficient addressing without named streets, delivering mail, package, and services becomes challenging, affecting logistics and hindering economic activities. 3, emergency response delays. Emergency services rely on accurate addressing to reach locations quickly. Without named streets, response time can increase, jeopardizing lives and property. 4, legal administration challenges. Street naming is often tied to legal and administrative process, including property ownership, taxation, and zoning regulations. Failure to name streets complicates those processes. And 5, impact to tourism and commerce. Tourists and business really on clear navigations to explore and engage with the towns. Street name absence may deter tourism and commerce, impacting the local economy. 6, public safety concerns. Inadequate street naming may result into public safety issues such as difficulty in reporting crimes on accidents which can affect overall community well-being. Number 7, proper valuation. Named streets contribute to identity and the desirability of neighborhoods, influencing proper value without clear addressing. Property valuation can become anticipatory and inconsistent. 8, urban planning challenges. Street naming plays crucial role in urban planning, including infrastructure development, transportation networks, land use planning. The absence of street naming complicates those efforts, leading to inefficiencies and suboptimal outcomes. Number 9, communication and wayfinding. Street names serve as common points of reference of communication and the wayfinding. Without them, farmbound directions, maps, and signage become less effective, impeding communications and causing frustrations of residents and visitors alike. 10, historical and cultural loss. Street names often reflect the history, culture, and identity of a place. Failing to name streets neglects these aspects, resulting into the loss of heritage and diminishing the town's sense of community and belonging. Now, therefore, this Count Assembly urges the Count Executive Committee member in charge of lands commits to have the streets of Wote and the other major towns within the count addressed by names. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Leader of Majority Party to present the business of County Assembly for the next coming week.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Orders 47(2)A and 55 of the County Assembly Standing Orders, I rise to give a statement on the business of the County Assembly for the coming week. Mr. Speaker, the following business has been tentatively scheduled to be transacted by the County Assembly in the coming week, Monday, 12th August 2024. Papers and notices. 1. Tabling of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County Bursary Fund, quarter reports and financial statements for the period ended 31st March 2024. Notice of motion shall be given as well. 2. Tabling of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County Climate Change Fund, quarterly reports and financial statements for the period ended 31st March 2024. Notice of motion shall be given as well. 3. Tabling of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County Receiver of Revenue quarterly reports and financial statements for the period ended 31st March 2024. Notice of motion shall be given. Statements. 1. Request for a statement from the Chairperson Committee on Water and Sanitation regarding the Mwangini sump tank by the member for Kaskeu Ward. 2. Response to the statement regarding the expenditure of funds for the sports development program Ligi Mashinani in Kadhonzweni Ward, as was requested by the member for Kadhonzweni Ward. Motions. A motion will be in the order paper for Monday for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Environment and Climate Change on the implementation status of County Assembly resolutions on the 3rd Assembly. Tuesday, 13th August 2024. Morning plenary. Statements. There will be a response to the statement regarding the poor workmanship at Miao Earth Dam in Kakowaiya Ward as requested by the member for Kakowaiya Ward. motions. There will be a motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Water and Sanitation for the period January to June 2024, and there will be a motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report for the Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries, and Cooperative Development for the period January to June 2024. In the afternoon plenary, there will be a statement. On statement, there will be a response to the statement regarding the need to establish an access road connecting Makueni County and Kajiado County through Kambu Market, as was requested by the member for Ivingoni Zambani Ward. There will be a motion for the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Infrastructure, Transport, Public Works, Housing and Energy for the period January to June 2024. There will be a motion for the adoption of the report of the County Public Investments and Accounts Committee on the implementation status of County Assembly resolutions of the Third Assembly. On Wednesday, 14th August 2024, statements. 1. Response to the statement regarding the poor workmanship in the installation of culverts on various roads in Thange Ward, as was requested by the member for Thange Ward. Motions. 1. There will be a motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Health Services for the period January to June 2024. There will be a motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Devolution, Public Participation, County Administration, and Special Programs for the period January to June 2024. Mr. Speaker, there shall be a meeting of the Assembly Business Committee on Monday, 12th August 2024 at 9 a.m. and pursuant to the decisions of that meeting, additional business may be scheduled to be transacted by the County Assembly during that week. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I have a leader of the majority party, member for Mulala Emali Ward. The leader of the majority has given a notice of motion via statement, has laid a paper. How many days before next week? It will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 4 days. So 4 times 24 hours, those are how many hours? So we are settled. We are just doing it practically.
Yes. Actually, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank him now. He has dealt with Article 40, standing order number 42 of the Makueni County standing order. And actually, yesterday, immediately we left the assembly. Today's order paper was sent. So everything is getting in control. Thank you.
Fair enough for the oversight from the House Business Committee. Member for Kikumini Mova Ward, request for statement. Member for Kikumini Ward.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not a member, but I want to ask the statement on behalf of the member.
What's it?
And as well as a member of Water Municipality, because it affects the people of Water Municipality. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to the provision Article 185(3) of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, Section 392 of the County Government Act 2012 revised in 2020 and Standing Order 50 of Makueni County Assembly Standing Orders, I raised a request for a statement from the Chairperson, Committee on Environment and Climate Change regarding the dumping of hazardous industrial waste in Kambi Mawe Dam. The Speaker, sir, ENI was founded on February 10, 1953 as a Zonte Nacio Nile in the Kabori. It's a very difficult name, but I think I pronounce it properly. ENI completed the construction of the oil seed collection of pressing plant, that is Anchor Hub in Makueni in Kenya in 2022, and started the production of the first vegetable oil by refinery. the agri-herb process, castor, croton and cotton seeds to extract vegetable oil. The facility also produces feed and the biofertilizers derived from the protein component of the seeds for the benefit of livestock and food production, contributing to food security. The center also works as a training and technical support hub for farmers. The Speaker, sir, the first phase of the project in Kenya included the construction of the second agro hub to reach a total capacity of 30,000 tons per year of vegetable oil, 2023, as well as the development associated agricultural supplies chains. Mr. Speaker, a wide range of manufacturing process to create all sorts of products, produce many different types and the examples of industrial waste. The main cause of industrial waste is byproducts from a wide range of different processes. Those are often waste materials produced when manufacturing all sorts of products. Mr. Speaker, sir, improper waste management practices can also create excess industrial waste, negatively impacts the environment. It's important that all industry take steps to reduce waste and dispose it responsibly. Mr. Speaker, just like any other manufacturing factory, any factory produces tons of waste which must be disposed of. It is reported that the company has been disposing its waste upstream of the Kambi Mawe Dam, hereby containing the water which aciduous elements. Mr. Speaker, sir, the chairperson should therefore clarify on the following. Whether the department is aware of any factory which has been dumping aciduous industrial waste upstream of Kambi Mawe Dam. B, if yes, what action has the department taken to stop the inappropriate waste disposal? And what action has it taken on the perpetrator? C, what measures has the department taken to remove the waste which has been dumped in the dam? Whether the department has plans to establish the suitable and the safe of the water in the dam for its use by residents and their livestock, provide such plans and when they will be executed. What is the waste management policy of the factory and whether the same was agreed upon with the county government? Provide a copy of the same. F, whether any company has any compensation plans to residents who may be affected by the use of contaminated water from the dam resulting from the dumping of the hazardous waste. And the G, whether the department has caused any environmental audit to the dumping of the hazardous industrial waste in the Kambi Mawe Dam. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a very pertinent issue. The issue of dumping this waste by the any factory should be actually taken with a lot of concern, because, Mr. Speaker, I think our people from Kambimawe must have consumed poison, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't know how these people can survive with the water, which is already contaminated, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I would wish the department takes action as soon as possible so that we can address this issue, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in future, we need to have proper guidelines on how wastes from these factories will be managed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as much as these factories create employment, it is also important for them to make sure that there is proper management of this waste, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairperson, to Environment and Climate Change. Vice Chairperson. Are you the Vice Chair?
No, I'm standing in for the Vice Chair because the Chair and the Vice Chair are not in.
So Chair and Vice Chair absent?
Yes.
It is good for answered.
Yeah, I am.
So you are helping the situation. Proceed.
I am a member of that committee, Honorable Speaker.
We agreed.
Okay, thank you.
The
Honorable
Chair
Speaker.
will be called, the Vice Chair, then we will, another active member will help the situation.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for doing so. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As a committee, we really regret, and we request for 14 days that we may investigate and bring back a good response. So 14 days.
Honorable Mateso, 14 days.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As our people continue taking poison, 15 days may be too much. But let me go by the 14 days. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I think, Chairperson, what you need to do is, as you communicate to the executive on that particular communication, is to urge that the waste disposal stops forthwith, pending hearing and determination of this matter. So that then the Honorable Mateso doesn't indicate that as his people continue to drink poison. So take care of the poison bit in the interim. Chairperson, member for Masangoloni to request for statement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand on behalf of member for Masangoleni under his request.
Go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, the statement regards the non-operation of the Mukuyuni Sand Dam project in the Masangoleni ward. The Chairperson, Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperative Development. The Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Article 185.3 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Section 39.2 of the County Government Act 2012, revised 2020, and Standing Order number 50 of the Makueni County Assembly Standing Orders, I rise to request a statement from the Chairperson, Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperative Development regarding to the non-operationalization of Mukuyuni Sand Dam project in Masangoleni ward. Honorable Speaker, the Mukuyuni Sand Dam is it's a project by the National Agricultural and Rural Inclusive of Growth Project, that's NARIC, which includes the construction of sand dam and a 150-meter water sump. The work at the project commenced 1st September 2022 and were completed on 11th November 2022. Honorable Speaker, the sand dam and the water sump were all constructed well and all the payments pertaining the project meant. However, despite the water sump having collected water over the last 4 consecutive rain seasons, the residents have not been able to use the water since there was no water draw-off provision. Honorable Speaker, the project had a budget budget for contingencies, which was to take care of uncaptured, that is in BQ works, which would hamper the full operationalization of the project, such as the lack of water draw-off, that the pumping system. Honorable Speaker, the Chairperson therefore should clarify on the following. 1, whether the department is aware of the project and that it has not been operationalized. 2, if yes, why the project is not being put in operation. C, provide the total budget allocation for the project, including the contingency budget as well as bill of quantities. D, whether the contingencies budget has been utilized, and if yes, how was it utilized and on what activity? Further, clarify whether the project management committee, PMC, authorized the use of the fund, provide minutes on the same. E, what plans are in place to provide water draw-off, that is pumping system, at the sump to enable the residents start utilizing the water? And F, when is the project going to be fully operationalized or
Yes, yeah, it's fair. This is supposed to be chairperson committee on water. The function on agriculture, on irrigation was transferred to the department on agriculture. Now, when I was working in government, there were transfers of public officers. One, a transfer could be based on own request. So you request to be transferred to another station. Or there could be underperformance, that administration request due to underperformance. Unfortunately, we are not able to know why that function has been moved. I hope it's for the convenience of the department, but not performance related. Nevertheless, I think in agriculture now you'll be easy for you to concentrate with so many projects. But in government, when a function is transferred, something must be wrong. At that department, not at the committee. At the department, something must be wrong. But you can say something before as the last words. I know you are mourning, but say something.
No, I'm standing on behalf of the Committee of Water.
Oh.
So we are the recipients of the department. Or the
Who is
transfer
mourning in
function.
this case?
My one and only senior brother.
Mr. Speaker.
Your tribute.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think I'm mourning. Agriculture has a lot of work. In fact, it's a blessing in this case that irrigation was transferred from agriculture to water. So I just allow my friend Bishop Jonathan to proceed and handle that matter. Thank you.
Person on water.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think we received the department or the transferred function with a lot of open arms. And our commitment will be that we are going to do what it takes to bring the utmost quality of service to the people of Makueni in regard to that particular department. As concerns the statement, I would wish to request for 14 days so that we can be able to sit with my committee and interrogate the matter and bring a report to the floor.
Member from Lale Mali, on behalf of Masongalina, I think 14 days are fair.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think 14 days, if conclusively responded, will be perfect. Maybe Honorable Musu was requesting for a lighter duty when you say agriculture has a lot of responsibilities. You might file for that lighter job, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Member for Ilima, request for a statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Article 185, Subarticle 3 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Section 39, Subarticle 2 of the County Governments Act 2012 revised 2020, and the Standing Order number 50 of the Makueni County Assembly Standing Orders, I rise to request for a statement with the Chairperson Committee on Health Services regarding the lack of medical supplies in health facilities in the county and particularly in Ilima Ward. Mr. Speaker, sir, the residents of Ilima Ward have reached out to me declaring the lack of medical supplies in our health facilities. In particular, they have alleged that our facilities lack even the most basic medicines and other supplies used in the facilities routinely. Mr. Speaker, sir, the key request of these particular facilities include Chambeke, Mwani Dispensary, Chenzenzeni Health Center, Kafatanzo Health Center, Musalala Health Centers, basically all found in Ilima Ward. Mr. Speaker, sir, in order to ascertain the magnitude or the extent of the problem, I happened to visit Kilungu Sub-County Hospital at the Sultan Hamud Sub-County Hospital, which is actually our closest level 4 health centers, and which is highly utilized by my people. And I was surprised to learn that similar cases were also reported those key level 4 hospitals. And besides that, there was also the issue of long hours queues for unattended patients, and there was also poor ratio in terms of practitioner patient intervention. In this case, Mr. Speaker, sir, the chairperson should therefore clarify the following. A, whether the department is aware of these shortages and inefficiencies in our health facilities. If yes, what is the cause of the lack of the supplies? And in details, explain with full details, when did the department last requisition was supplied, and attach evidence of the supplies. In the event the supplies had been requested and not supplied, also we would wish to see the same. 2, if no, what is the cause of the lack of communication so that the residents know how to prepare when seeking treatment in these particular institutions? Part B, give a detailed schedule of the expected medical supplies for the next 6 months, if any. If none, then what's the way forward? C, how is the department dealing with the poor health practitioner to patient interaction in terms of the ratio and in terms of workload in the county health facilities across the Makueni County? Mr. Speaker, you know that health is a key issue. Even though I happened to attend a particular meeting whereby the governor said some supplies have come across board, we cannot take that word to mean each and every institution has supplies. So in this context, I think this is a statement which we wish to ascertain the intensive and the intensity of these supplies across the whole of Makueni County, because it's actually a high need kind of situation where people might be losing their lives due to lack of these supplies. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Chairperson. Vice Chair. Absent. Honorable member of that committee. Rescue your committee.
Honorable Speaker, the chair had delegated to the vice, and the vice was also leaving. He had a family matter and he delegated to me. So there was proper communication in the Committee of Health Services.
Fair enough.
So, Honorable Speaker, we will request for 10 days to give a response on that matter.
10 days appears sufficient, Honorable Member. Chairperson Committee on Gender, Youth and Social Service Response Statement, as was requested by member for Kakwaya Ward. Is the response ready?
Mr. Speaker, the response is ready, but I don't see the member. Do I respond?
Proceed and lay the response as provided from the standing orders. This matter has come for more than 2 months now, and the member is nowhere to be traced. Your member for Kakowaya. No, that's okay. You are holding brief for the member. You have instructions?
So I'm sorry.
Sorry?
I'm talking about something different, I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Just lay the response. Clerk, communicate the response to the member in writing. Chairperson Committee on Gender and Social Services to respond to a statement as requested by member for Mulala Emali Ward,
regarding a rehabilitation center. Chairperson, Vice Chair, Honorable Gatumo. What is it, member for Mboni?
I'm standing in on behalf of the chair, Gender.
Go ahead.
On Molala Emali statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee had a consultative meeting on Monday, and the ECM committed to respond on 12th August, that is next Monday. So, Mr. Speaker, the committee requests for 7 days to table a comprehensive report. Thank you.
Member for Molala Emali Ward.
At meeting then, the committee invited me, and I want to congratulate the progress. 7 days, Mr. Speaker, if the ECM will do as requested by the committee, that will be very perfect. Actually, I had sent some information to you, Honorable Speaker, regarding what response is brought to the committee. A very shameful response, Honorable Speaker. That's why he was forced to go and repackage himself and the department to perfectly respond to that concern. So 7 days is enough, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Member for Lima, what is it?
Mr. Speaker, I wonder whether it really have quorum.
Clerk? We need one more member. Sergeant Adams. So there are terms to do have quorum. What's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I think my point of order is the honorable member who raised on issue of quorum while we had the quorum. Right now we are 17.
The clerk confirmed that we needed one more member. Honorable members, the member who raised the point of order on quorum, in the first place, he has moral authority to ask, because he's one of the most frequent members in this house. It would have been different and a big case if some of us would have rested. So, you know, there are some oversights you allow. He's a member who is keen with participation. He's always seated at his chair, he's present. So he needs more people seated. And he's a leader of the government business. So some others may ask, and like, when did you know when there is no quorum? So allow Honorable Jonathan to enjoy, because he's here, he's the first one to be seated. Don't see the bad side. He's here to create quorum for you every day. He's the first one to be here and the last to leave. And he has a word. So member from Bitini, you try fairly, not as much. So look for partners. Don't fight those who are in conference. Fight those who are outside the conference. But fair enough, we have a quorum, we may proceed. Good observation, Honorable Member from Bitini. What is it, Honorable?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. These are on a different issue, Mr. Speaker. There is a statement which was raised in this House concerning the PMCs, and it was directed that we bring as a report. I wanted to ask honorable members to provide with us the Committee on Devolution as we generate the report. If they know NPMC that is not paid, as we do that report from the awards, so that we can compare with what we have from the department, because we want to nail them very well. Thank you.
I hear you. The position should be, have you shared the information that you have with the members?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we shared the document, the paid and the unpaid PMCs, and we were directed by the Speaker. Then we generate it as a report with findings and the recommendations. And Mr. Speaker, we can't rely on the information that was from the other side. So we want members.
You want information from members?
Yes.
Were members given that information? Per word?
Yes, per word.
Has that been circulated? Not the report, I'm asking, let us at times, chairperson, make the work of elected members, whether special or directly, easy. I mean, do you expect Honorable Kali to take a pen and now start writing and making phone calls? The best would have just you reduce that into 30 templates of every word. And then you share with every member. Every member will share to the ward manager. The ward manager will share in their walls. If you have been paid, say yes. If no, please, can I know who it is? So we will make the oversight easy. But you cannot ask a member to go through such a document, 20 page, to look where Kalawa is. Then you start screenshotting, Ask your committee clerk to organize that information better so that you get better results. The action is good. But can you administratively organize that information so that it's specific? We know paid in Kalawa, not paid in Kalawa. Then you will delegate someone with specific information to deal with simple matters. And then you will get good results. You are at B, but if you take that direction, you score an A. Every citizen will be paid. Fair enough, member. And if clerk, we could proceed in that manner. Simplify the information in the interest of the consumer.
Well guided, Mr. Speaker, but the report is very well tabulated per word, the paid list, the unpaid. So we wanted them to confirm before we report.
What I'm saying
was just passing.
You have argued like an elected person who has no pen, who has no notebook, who knows how to speak and picking calls and pressing the send money M-Pesa button. Now, we have a team that can help you, Chair, to break down and give you a small template on Kalawa. Are you getting my point? Yes. Your committee clerk knows where to get that from. We bought a new HP laptop, which goes 360 degrees, and you don't scroll, you touch like a phone. And it has a recorder, even as you speak, it is typing. Some things are so simple. So ask them to help you, not to embarrass you, to give you something that is colored. Good columns, just like that. Yellow, red, paid, not paid, above million, below. Yes. Something that will look like Makueni County Assembly. Thank you. We must be seen differently. Otherwise, we will look like Honorable Karanja of Nakuru County Assembly has warned us. Chair, person Committee on Education, Honorable Mulemba, you are on your feet. Yes, the matter was taken up. Chairperson Committee on Education, to respond to a statement as requested by a member for Kakowaya.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the member of Kakowaya is not in, but the two statements are ready for fencing in Kitindi CCTI and for toilets in Kilungu and Chaume ECD school.
Well done, Madam Chair. You proceed and then lay the papers. The clerk, you will formally communicate to the member, forward the responses via email as soon as possible. Okay. Matter is rested. Chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries, to respond to statement as requested by member for Kakowaya on construction of Jangodu Stockyard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, concerning the Jangondu stockyard, I'm rightly informed that the member for Kako was supposed to bring additional questions as directed by the Speaker, which he didn't. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, the committee did not write even to the ECM. We just paused at that level so that we can get the additional questions from the member, which he did not. Thank you, Mr.
In this case, I'm giving the member up to Monday. If the member will not have provided additional questions on Monday at 2:30, you lay the response as it is.
Obliged, Mr. Speaker.
Next, Chairperson Committee on Education ICT. That's agriculture is done. Chairperson Committee on ICT, Education ICT, to respond to statement as quoted member for Kakowaya Ward regarding construction of classroom blocks, toilets in Gilungu and Chaume ACDs. Fair enough. Fair enough. Chairperson Committee on Agriculture, to respond to statement number 4 as requested by member for Ward and Zoo Ward regarding the water tannery.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir. During the 13th sitting of the County Assembly held on Monday, 4th March 24, Honorable Mateso requested for a statement regarding the water tannery pursuant to provision of Article 185, Sub-Article 3 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Section 39, Sub-Article 2 of the County Government Act 2012, revised 2020, and Standing Order 50 of the Makueni County Assembly Standing Orders. The Speaker, during the 61 sitting, the County Assembly held on 3rd July 24, the Chairperson, Committee on Agriculture, Fisheries and Corporate Development, presented a response to regarding the water tannery in Orenzi Ward as requested by Felix Mateso. The response was termed as satisfactory on a matter of issues as presented by the statement requester. The Speaker directed the Chairperson Committee to avail the following information. One, why the department did not operationalize the project using the initial AIE license issues to Kenya Leather Development Council on 21st June 2012, noting that KLDC handed over the project to the county government on 17th September 2018. So, Speaker, secondly, the possible days for making sure that the tannery of the project is operational. So, Speaker, sir, in that regard, the committee did a letter dated 7th July 2024 requesting the ECM to submit information for consideration. The ECM responded in a letter dated 11th July 2024 and informed the committee as follows. One, why the department did not operationalize the project using the initial AIE license issues to Kenya Leather Development Council on 21st June 2012, noting that KLDC handed over the project to the county government on 17th September 2018. Mr. Speaker, the response was that the department could not operationalize the project due to the following reasons. One, the project was incomplete and required additional funds to complete the construction and equipping, which were never availed by the Leather Council, and the county government had not budgeted for the project at the time of handover. Secondly, the county government could not fund the project before it was handed over. So, Speaker, B, the possible dates for making the project operational. The Speaker, the reason is that the department is having the project discussed for potential budget allocation, and some of the key budget items before operationalization include, one, I have a problem with that, pronouncing that one. Updating the feasibility study done in 2019 to ensure a feasibility of the project and recommend appropriate waste and effluent management system. and then undertake a fresh environmental and social impact assessment, since the environmental impact assessment done in 2012 is not valid in view of changing our circumstances. So, Speaker, then thirdly is that Water Resource Authority demarcates riparian land to isolate the tannery land. And then fourthly is that if the project is still found viable and approved by NEMA following a revised EIA, and has adequate land following riparian land demarcation, the department will allocate funds to complete and make it operational. That is a tannery. So kindly find an attachment that we have done. That is a technical advisory team consisted by the department to ascertain on the suitability of the project of our concerns raised. We have that one, and then a response from the ECM. So, Speaker, sir, the committee hereby presents a response to the statement regarding the water tannery in Waters Ward to the County Assembly for consideration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's as simple as that.
Honorable Matters.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to thank the committee for actually trying to bring something similar to comprehensive. But, Mr. Speaker, they have outlined what will be done for the factory, the tannery to operate, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, what I'm just seeing here is that there are no timelines. And Mr. Speaker, we were there with the governor himself and the department, and they were told to act with speed to make sure that the operation of this tannery is done as soon as possible. Now, if they don't give timelines on when this will be done, Mr. Speaker, then it means that will take forever. So I think it's important for them to give timelines on when we expect all these processes that I've just mentioned here completed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Chairperson. Question one is communicating. Being the teacher that you are, why the department did not. And the response is that they could not operation because the project was incomplete and additional funds were required for construction, equipping, which were never availed by the Leather Council, and the government had no budget that time. The county government could not fund the project before it was handed over. Was this project handed over? After the first question, has the project been handed over from Leather Council to county? Question number two, possible dates operationalizing. The answer is updating the visibility study done in 2019 to ensure visibility project recommended appropriate waste effluent and ABCD. Now, the possible date for operationalizing. You know, Honorable Mateso is not interested with the English. He's interested in the possible dates for operationalizing is 2025 after updating the feasibility study in December. Now, here the ECM is not indicating updating a feasibility done in 2019, we're in 2025, is not indicating whether that is valid and if needs to be updated, up to when. Okay, it's not indicating whether subject to availability of the budget and at how much. Mateso, being a legislator who sits in the assembly, will then persuade and influence the budget allocation. Two, undertake a fresh environmental impact and assessment, since that which was done in 2012 is not valid. Perfect. So when will this be done to facilitate the possible date of operationalizing? So the answer again is open. When will this be done? What does the department require to get the EAI done. 3, the Water Resource Authority demarcates a riparian land to isolate tannery land. So WARA is required to demarcate the riparian from the tannery. So whose responsibility is it? Because there should be the department will within the next 21 or 1 year or 50 years within to engage WARA and demarcate. Who will go and initiate that action? And 4, if the project is still found viable and approved, then NEMA, following a revised EAI, as adequate and land foreign riparian and ABCD. So the department should be telling us the timelines within which they think that this is going to be done. And if they think it is not possible, that we need to ascertain the following within the next 6 months to confirm whether this project is viable or not. But the way it is open. Now, I'm reading this together with the citizens who told me that they found the governor at the tannery with the Honorable Mateso. Now, if you read the response and a governor visited, this may not reflect the governor that you know. Because the governor that you know is what is missing, what is the action point. Now, this is a storybook, and the governor gives answers. So this is completely different from what we are expecting the governor found. So people, in other words, Mateso wants a solution. The minister is describing a problem. Being a Malim that you are, would you get this matter fixed so that we get answers?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the member has rightly said that the answer is satisfactory, save for the date when this one will be completed. Mr. Speaker, it is not very hard for me to get a date from the ECM and come back to the House and report. So you just give me around 7 days, I will be through, and then I'll just give a date. Because the answer is satisfactory. Thank you.
Leader of the majority party. What is your point of order?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move the following procedural motion, Honorable Speaker, that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 33-3A, this Assembly resolves to extend its sitting time until all business appearing on the order paper is dispensed. Honorable Speaker, in moving this motion, I would seek my colleagues, the support of my colleagues, in that as a member of the House Business Committee, we have a lot of business, and Honorable Speaker, if you look at this business which has been pending in the Assembly since last week, and in the order papers from Monday, Tuesday, then now it's Wednesday, Honorable Speaker, if we don't dispense this business, the business in this order paper today, then on Monday we might get into some serious backlog of business. So I'm requesting my colleagues to support this motion so that we may dispense with this motion. Honorable Speaker, I think this is part of our commitment as an assembly that we shall, under even the worst circumstances, we have resolved to work for the people of Makueni. So I request my colleagues to support this motion, and then we shall try to limit our debate on the motions so that we may dispense this, the business of the day. So, Honorable Speaker, I request the Honorable Deputy Leader of Majority to second this motion. Sorry, Honorable Speaker. It's like this procedural motion is emanating from the House Business Committee. So I request Honorable...
No, it is not House business. It is, you are borrowing the divide to support your motion to stay more.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I now get it. So I request Honorable Engineer Ndolo, the Deputy Minority Leader, to second this motion.
Honorable members, I propose the question that pursuant to the provision standing order Number 33, Saborder 3, if the Assembly resolved to extend the sitting time until the business appearing in the order paper is dispensed. Floor is open. Honorable Elizabeth.
Honorable Speaker, I stand to oppose. Honorable Speaker, why I oppose, I was here yesterday in the morning and we did not have quorum for members to transact business. They were still asleep, others I don't know where they were. For only us to come here today to be told to extend time. Let us end the business of a county assembly at 5 p.m. We will continue with the business next week or the next sitting day.
Honorable Femera.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand to oppose the motion. Reasons being, Honorable Speaker, we have perennial quorum makers in this assembly and we have perennial absentees. And if people if honorable members can be committed to the cause and to the oath of office that they took, they should be here debating. We missed a session yesterday in the morning. Are we going to work for members when they're doing their things? We're also busy with our own things. But for the sake of the people of Makueni, we are here. So, Honorable Speaker, it is a Wednesday. Let us go home and start enjoying the weekend. Thank you.
Member from Tirande Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand to oppose. Mr. Speaker, I cannot be punished because of reasons which are best known to most of these members. So, Speaker, we have what one member has said are perennial absentees in this assembly. So you cannot punish the members who are here so that they can finish business which was supposed to be transacted. On other dates. Mr. Speaker, let us pause our business at exactly 5 and go. Thank you.
Leader of the majority, move out of the motion.
Honorable Speaker,
persuade members, persuade them.
I think
you can withdraw.
my initial statement and my initial moving notes were persuading the members, but it seems the members have a different opinion. So, Honorable Speaker, my hands are tied. We just need to vote for this motion. If it fails, then we go for what is provided for in the standing orders. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I now put the question that pursuant to the provision of standing order number 33, paragraph 3A, this assembly resolved to extend the sitting time until the business appearing in the order paper is dispensed. Will as many as of that opinion say nay? Will as many as of that opinion say aye? The nays have it. Now, honorable members, you escaped my dragnet. Is the responsibility of the leader of the majority to dispense the business, whatever it takes. It is so much, and he consulted me, and he feels that there's so much that we are carrying forward. His intentions are very clear, and it's up to you members to decide whether you want to support the business from Makueni or not. I gather what has been put forward by 3 members who have contributed that this business is a result of a carryover on occasions where there has not been quorum. And therefore, honorable members, you have to find a way of addressing that matter. Proceed. Next order.
Order number 8, motion. The report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the financial year 2023-2024, third quarter budget implementation report and oversight conducted on 20th and 21st May 2024.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Take your seat. Take your seat. Clerk, proceed and finish sitting.
I beg to repeat order number 8, motion. the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the financial year 2023-2024 third quarter budget implementation report and oversight conducted on 20th and 21st May 2024.
What is it, member for Nzawi Kalamba? The clerk cannot be out of order.
I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, but it seems we have no quorum.
So we have quorum. No quorum. Sergeant at arms, you ring the bell for quorum. Honorable Member. Minutes. Honorable members, seems that we may not get quorum. We have 14 motions deferred to next week, over and above the notice of motion that has been given by the leader of the majority. Honorable members, time now being 16:40 hours, the assembly stands adjourned until Monday 12th of August, year 2024 at 14:30 hours.